Absolutely, absolutely. We got the new brother here. We got Jake on the line. Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I'd just like to maybe bring up the topic of whether we should have an unquestioning faith. I've recently had some discussions with some Catholic friends and others who have just had not had the scales fall off their eyes yet in the Protestant Church, and a discussion that's constantly come up is unquestioning faith truly valuable, or should we be questioning what we believe?
I would look at it from a couple of different ways. Yeshua said in Matthew 18:3, he says, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never see the kingdom of heaven." And it says, "Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So what is the character of a child that we're to actually aspire to? And I think this is an allusion to being born again. And so I would say, as far as our faith in Messiah, absolutely don't question that. That is something true that you just must simply take. Now, children, they ask a lot of questions, but they will accept what their parents say pretty simply. They accept it as true. And Messiah's disciples actually did have a lot of questions throughout the course of his ministry. And along with that, though, Thomas being one of them, he doubted, and he said, "Unless I see the marks of the nails, I will not believe." And the others had seen, and they did believe. And Yeshua said, "You must stop being faithless and have faith. You have seen and you believe, but blessed are those who don't see and believe." But now that's concerning Yeshua. Now, on the other hand, concerning teachings and prophesyings, I would say absolutely, like Paul said, test everything. 1 Thessalonians 5, 19 through 23, it says, "You must habitually never quench the spirit. You must continually not ever despise prophecy. But you must constantly prove all things or test all things. You must incessantly hold fast the good. You must faithfully keep yourselves away from every form of evil." So having faith, you have to make sure that you're keeping away from evil. So that's mainly what I would say on that. There's one more thing is the Rechabites. Jeremiah 35, there's this peculiar family called the Rechabites. And it's very interesting because Yah wants these people to drink wine. And they say, but we actually obey our father. And our father from long ago told us not to drink wine, and they abstained from all these things. They were not living in sin. The things that the Father instructed them in was not contrary to Yah's ways. It was not sin to do these things, to abstain from these things. So they honored their Father in such a way that they were honored by Yah for their obedience. So even though Yah wanted them to do one thing, and they were holding fast to what they were taught by their Father, well, they weren't living in sin, and they were honored. It's an interesting story to read, Jeremiah 35.
Thank you for sharing that. Is that where that family was in Jeremiah 35?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was that family you were just speaking about in Jeremiah 35, or?
Yeah, the Rechabites, which are apparently related to Moses' father-in-law of Midian, Jethro.
Very cool.